Parents today are more overwhelmed than ever because they are constantly being told two opposite things at the same time. On one side, they are told that toddlers need firm discipline, clear boundaries, and consistent consequences. On the other side, they are warned that being too strict, too loud, or too controlling can quietly damage a child's confidence, emotional safety, and long-term self-esteem. This creates a painful inner conflict for many loving parents. They want their toddler to listen, to behave, to learn right from wrong, but they are terrified of becoming the kind of parent whose words echo in their child's head for years in a negative way. According to child development experts, this fear is not irrational because early discipline experiences do not just shape behavior in the moment, they quietly shape how a child sees themselves, how safe they feel making mistakes, and how much they trust their own voice. What most parents are never clearly taught is that discipline and confidence are not opposites. In fact, when done correctly, discipline is one of the strongest builders of confidence, emotional strength, and inner security. The problem is not discipline itself. The problem is the style of discipline that focuses on control, fear, and obedience instead of guidance, connection, and skill building. Medical and child psychology professionals explain that toddlers are not being bad when they melt down, refuse, or test limits. Their brains are still under construction, especially the parts responsible for impulse control, emotional regulation, and flexible thinking. A toddler's nervous system is learning in real time how to handle frustration, disappointment, excitement, and boundaries. When a parent disciplines in a way that shames, scares, or overwhelms, the child may stop the behavior in the short term, but internally they are learning a different lesson. They may learn that making mistakes makes them bad, that strong emotions are dangerous, or that their needs and feelings are not safe to express. Over time, this can quietly weaken confidence, making children either overly anxious, overly compliant, or overly defiant as they try to protect their sense of self. On the other hand, when discipline is calm, predictable, and focused on teaching rather than punishing, toddlers learn that mistakes are part of learning, that big emotions can be handled safely, and that they are still loved even when they are corrected. This is where real confidence begins to form, not from never being corrected, but from being corrected in a way that protects dignity and emotional safety. One of the most powerful shifts experts recommend is moving away from discipline that is based on fear and toward discipline that is based on connection. This does not mean being permissive. It does not mean letting toddlers do whatever they want. It means that before a lesson can truly land, a toddler's nervous system needs to feel safe. When a child feels threatened, yelled at, or shamed, the brain goes into survival mode. In that state, learning shuts down. The child is no longer absorbing guidance. They are simply trying to protect themselves emotionally. When parents first connect, even briefly, with eye contact, a calm tone, or a simple acknowledgement of the child's feeling, the child's brain is more open to guidance. According to child behavior specialists, this small moment of connection can make the difference between discipline that teaches and discipline that only controls. Another key principle that protects confidence is separating the child from the behavior. Experts strongly emphasize that toddlers should never feel like they are bad, even when their behavior is not okay. Language matters more than most parents realize. When discipline language labels the child instead of the action, it quietly shapes identity. Over time, a toddler who repeatedly hears messages that imply they are naughty, difficult, or a problem may begin to see themselves that way. This does not build responsibility, it builds shame. When parents instead focus on the behavior itself and communicate that the child is still good and loved, even while correcting the action, the child learns accountability without internalizing negativity. This helps preserve self-worth while still teaching limits. Consistency is another confidence-protecting factor that is often misunderstood. Many parents think consistency means being strict and unchanging no matter what. In reality, experts explain that consistency is about predictability, not harshness. Toddlers feel safer when they can predict what will happen next. When rules and responses change randomly based on a parent's mood, stress, or exhaustion, toddlers feel uncertain and unsettled. This uncertainty can increase testing, anxiety, and emotional outbursts. When a toddler knows what the boundary is and knows how a parent will respond calmly and fairly, the child feels more secure. That sense of security is a quiet but powerful foundation for confidence. The child learns that the world makes sense, that adults are reliable, and that their environment is emotionally safe. Emotional coaching is another discipline approach that research shows supports long-term confidence. This means helping toddlers put words to feelings instead of shutting feelings down. According to child development research, children who learn to name and understand their emotions develop stronger emotional regulation and self-awareness. This does not mean allowing aggressive or unsafe behavior. It means acknowledging the emotion while guiding the behavior. When a toddler is angry, frustrated, or disappointed, they are not choosing to feel that way. Their nervous system is reacting. When parents treat emotions as the enemy, toddlers learn to fear or suppress their own inner experiences. Over time, this can weaken emotional confidence and self-trust. When parents validate the feeling but guide the action, toddlers learn that emotions are manageable and safe, even when behavior needs correction. Another often overlooked factor is how parents model self-control. Toddlers learn far more from what they see than from what they are told. When parents discipline while yelling, threatening, or losing control, toddlers learn that big emotions are handled through aggression or power. When parents discipline with calm firmness, toddlers see a living example of emotional regulation. This does not require perfection. Experts emphasize that repairing after mistakes is just as important. When a parent apologizes for yelling or acknowledges that they were overwhelmed, it teaches toddlers that mistakes can be repaired and that accountability is normal. This models healthy self-esteem and emotional responsibility in a way no lecture ever could. Timeouts and punishments are another area where confidence can be quietly damaged if used incorrectly. When discipline isolates a child emotionally or makes them feel rejected, it can increase shame and insecurity. Many professionals now recommend alternatives that focus on calming and teaching rather than isolating. The goal is not to make the child feel alone with their distress, but to help them learn how to calm and reset. When toddlers feel supported during emotional storms, they learn that they are not too much and that their big feelings do not push love away. This creates a deep sense of emotional safety that becomes the backbone of confidence later in life. Over time, toddlers who are disciplined in ways that protect dignity, teach skills, and maintain emotional connection grow into children who are more willing to try, more resilient after mistakes, and more trusting of their own inner voice. They are less likely to see correction as proof that they are not good enough. Instead, they see it as guidance that helps them grow. This is the difference between discipline that controls behavior and discipline that builds character. According to long-term child development studies, children who experience respectful, connected discipline are more likely to develop healthy self-esteem, stronger emotional regulation, and better problem-solving skills. These are the very qualities parents hope to build when they discipline, yet they are often unintentionally undermined by fear-based methods. What many parents do not realize is that every discipline moment is also a relationship moment. Each correction sends a message not just about rules, but about love, safety, and worth. When discipline is rooted in respect and teaching, toddlers learn that they can be wrong and still be valued. They learn that mistakes do not define them. They learn that their emotions are real and manageable. This is how confidence is built quietly, day after day, in small interactions that may seem insignificant but add up over time. If you are a parent who worries that you might be damaging your child's confidence without meaning to, it is important to remember that awareness itself is a powerful first step. You do not need to be perfect to raise a confident child. You need to be present, reflective, and willing to adjust. According to experts, children do not need flawless parents. They need emotionally safe parents who are willing to learn and grow alongside them. Every calm correction, every respectful boundary and every moment of emotional connection is an investment in your child's long-term self-belief. In the end, discipline is not about controlling a toddler. It is about teaching a small human how to live in their emotions, how to handle limits, and how to see themselves as capable, worthy, and loved even when they make mistakes. When discipline is done with this deeper purpose in mind, it becomes one of the most powerful tools for building confidence, resilience, and emotional strength. These early years are not just about stopping tantrums or improving behavior. They are about shaping how your child will speak to themselves in their own mind for years to come. When parents choose discipline that protects confidence, they are not just correcting behavior in the moment. They are shaping a child who grows up believing, deep down, that they are safe, capable, and enough. According to long-term child psychology research, the way toddlers are disciplined in these early years becomes the emotional blueprint they carry into school, friendships, and eventually adulthood. What may look like a small moment to a parent, a raised voice, a rushed punishment, a sharp word said out of stress, can quietly become a lasting internal message in a child's mind. Over time, these repeated messages shape whether a child believes they are capable of learning, worthy of patience, and safe to make mistakes. Experts explain that children who grow up with confidence, protective discipline are more likely to take healthy risks, speak up for themselves, and bounce back after failure. This is not because they were never corrected. It is because correction was delivered in a way that taught them that mistakes are part of growth, not proof of personal failure. Many adults today struggle with self-doubt, fear of failure, and harsh inner self-talk, and when researchers trace these patterns back, they often find roots in early experiences where discipline felt unpredictable, shaming, or emotionally unsafe. This is not about blaming parents. Most parents discipline the way they were disciplined or the way they think they are supposed to. But modern child development science has made it clear that emotional safety and firm boundaries are not opposites. They are partners. When toddlers feel emotionally safe, they are more open to guidance. When boundaries are clear and respectful, children feel more secure, not less. This combination is what allows discipline to become a tool for building inner strength rather than fear. Experts also emphasize that confidence is not built by constant praise or by avoiding all correction. True confidence comes from mastering challenges, surviving frustration, and learning that effort matters more than perfection. When discipline is focused on teaching skills instead of demanding obedience, toddlers learn how to regulate emotions, how to wait, how to handle disappointment, and how to try again. These are not small skills. These are life skills. Each time a toddler is guided through a difficult moment with calm firmness, their brain is wiring new pathways for resilience. Over time, this creates a child who is less easily overwhelmed and more able to handle stress, both emotionally and mentally. Another powerful long-term effect of healthy discipline is the development of internal motivation. When discipline relies heavily on fear, threats, or external control, children learn to behave only to avoid punishment. This creates children who are highly dependent on external approval and rules to regulate themselves. In contrast, when discipline is explained, modeled, and connected to understanding, children begin to develop internal control. They start to understand why certain behaviors are expected. They begin to regulate themselves even when no one is watching. This is a major foundation of true confidence, the belief that they can guide their own behavior and make good choices from the inside, not just because someone is forcing them from the outside. Child development professionals also point out that discipline moments are powerful opportunities to strengthen the parent-child bond. When a child experiences correction and still feels emotionally connected, their trust in the relationship deepens. This trust becomes the emotional safety net that allows children to explore the world, try new things, and take healthy risks. A child who feels securely connected is more likely to step out of their comfort zone because they know that even if they fail, their relationship is safe. This sense of security is one of the strongest predictors of long-term emotional health and confidence. Over the years, toddlers who grow up with confidence protective discipline often show healthier communication patterns. They are more likely to express feelings instead of acting them out. They are more likely to ask for help instead of shutting down. They are more likely to problem solve instead of giving up. These traits are not accidents. They are the result of thousands of small discipline interactions where a child learned that emotions are manageable, mistakes are survivable, and adults are safe guides, not threats. These children grow into teens and adults who are more emotionally aware, more resilient, and more trusting of their own judgment. What is especially important for parents to understand is that it is never too late to adjust how discipline is handled. Even if a parent realizes that some past approaches may not have supported confidence, the brain remains flexible, especially in early childhood. Each new interaction is a new opportunity to send a different message. Each calm correction, each moment of empathy paired with a boundary, and each repair after a mistake rewires the emotional story a child is building about themselves. According to experts, repair is one of the most powerful tools in parenting. When a parent acknowledges a mistake and reconnects emotionally, it teaches a child that relationships can recover and that mistakes do not destroy love. This is a lesson that protects confidence at a very deep level. In real life, parenting is exhausting. Stress, lack of sleep, and outside pressures make calm discipline harder than it sounds. Child specialists remind parents that the goal is not to be calm every time. The goal is to be intentional more often than not. Even small shifts in tone, language, and emotional awareness can create big changes over time. Confidence is not built in one perfect moment. It is built through patterns. It is built through repeated experiences of being guided, corrected, and still emotionally safe. As toddlers grow, the emotional foundation created by early discipline becomes part of how they see themselves and the world. A child who has learned that they can be corrected without being rejected carries that belief into school, friendships, and future challenges. They are less likely to crumble under criticism and more likely to see feedback as information rather than a personal attack. They are more likely to try again after failure instead of giving up. This is what mentally and emotionally strong children look like. Not children who never struggle, but children who believe they can handle struggle. At its core, discipline that protects confidence is not about being soft or strict. It is about being emotionally intelligent, consistent, and intentional. It is about remembering that behind every toddler behavior is a developing brain trying to learn how to function in a big, overwhelming world. When parents choose to discipline in a way that teaches rather than shames, guides rather than controls, and connects rather than isolates, they are doing more than improving behavior. They are shaping how their child will treat themselves for the rest of their life. In the end, the goal of discipline is not to create a child who is easy to control. The goal is to raise a child who is emotionally secure, self-aware, and confident in their ability to handle life. When discipline is done with respect, clarity, and emotional safety, it becomes one of the greatest gifts a parent can give. It teaches a child that they are capable of learning, worthy of patience, and strong enough to grow through mistakes. These lessons do not just change toddler behavior, they shape a lifetime of self-belief. When parents discipline with this deeper purpose, they are not just managing the moment. They are building a future adult who knows, deep down, that they are enough, that they can handle challenges, and that even when they fall short, they are still worthy of respect, love, and trust. That is the true power of discipline done right. Not control, not fear, but confidence, resilience, and emotional strength that lasts long after the toddler years are over.